It says it's live.
Yep. Hello,
Hello.
TJ. If you are watching, come on back in, please. Hang on,
Yeah,
somebody just popped in.
it shows it's rolling with the underwords married to the road. So it is broadcasting. So their
There's
folks are
TJ supposed to come back in. I know Angie's gonna be stopping in. All right. Well, while we're waiting on TJ Granny to pop in, hello everybody. How's everybody doing?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
And I am rolling down the road.
I had a day off, so I'm at home. Yay!
And it's been raining all morning, all day. TJ,
Yes.
if you can hear us, you might have to go back out and come back in.
All I see is a black screen.
Because all we see is a black screen. Hello, Mike. How you
Mike,
doing?
how is your therapy going, Mike? And we're back to two.
Uh, yep.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, okay, so Angie's supposed to come in and talk and everything else. So we're going to be waiting for Angie and TJ Granny. She's going to try to come in. I don't know if she's having.
He
Oh,
said, not good. Why is your
service.
therapy not going good?
I'm sorry, Mike.
What's going on, buddy?
But today we are going to be talking about, I guess what the president has was on came and did his special the other day. Um,
His trucking action plan to strengthen our nation's chain supplies.
yep, administration trucking action plan, and um, women for trucking was there. So Angie's gonna come in and probably talk about that.
Still
And
hurting. Other than that, it is going good. Well, that's good. I'm sorry you're
that's
hurting.
good, Mike. I'm sorry you're hurting, buddy. But I know Angie sent us some things to do some to talk about, and Sheila took notes. I took notes off of it. Um,
Gary says, good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, Gary.
And then I found a couple more articles about the trucking crisis and, different things. So I actually found them on Facebook.
Well, that's good. What are
When
they
you're
named?
when you're in all these trucking groups, all of a sudden these things pop up about trucking and you're going, okay.
Right?
So basically,
Right.
there was one from, it was a link from cbsnews.com. And I want to open it. Just continue. It was talking about low pay, grueling work fuels trucker shortage. Basically, it
Right.
talks about how Biden wants to recruit more veterans and women to the trucking industry amid a national shortage of drivers that is making it harder to get products onto store shelves. It goes on to say, in unveiling a plan on Monday to beat the bushes for more truck drivers, Mr. Biden and U.S. Transportation Secretary Oh, yeah, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. I will screw it up.
Yeah, I had problems trying to
Uh,
pronounce some of the names.
Highlighted the critical role of truck drivers, especially during the pandemic when American families relied on them for deliveries of essential items like groceries and medicine. The industry, according to this, the industry in 2021 was short a record 80,000 drivers, according to the American Trucker Association.
Nope.
Um, Long haul drivers who often face grueling routes and can be on the road for weeks at a time are in especially short supply. According to Transportation Department, roughly 300,000 truck drivers leave the profession every year.
I think this is from Angie. Hey, ladies, sorry our truck is getting
It's
ready
getting
to get
ready to get pulled into
pulled
the
into the
shop,
shop. I don't think I'll
be able to make an
be able to
appearance.
make an appearance, but Desiree Wood from Real Women in Trucking was there Monday. Awesome. All right, Angie, no problem.
That's fine. And then Gary says if Biden and the transportation secretary get involved, we're screwed. So basically, 300,000 truck drivers leave the profession every year, according to this article. The COVID pandemic only made the driver shortage worse because training and apprenticeship programs were either closed or limited their operations.
Right.
Um, Nick Giel, vice president of workforce policy at ATA, said opening the industry to women, veterans, and younger drivers who are currently largely restricted from entering the profession would help address labor challenges.
Right. And
Uh,
then what I saw was like 70% of all goods in this country, uh, average driver waits 4.5 hours to get loaded or unloaded. During their 11-hour shift, 40% of the day and often don't get paid for the wait time. So 70%, uh, I seems like it should be a little bit higher.
I think it is nowadays anymore, because this
I got
this
this for what Biden said. This is what our president said. So
um
I I feel like it's a little it's more. Um, and then on the 40 40% of the day and often don't get paid for the wait time.
yeah.
And then, I know some trucking companies say it's called a detention pay,
Mhm. Yeah.
and some companies does it different. Gary Hodges says there's no shortage. Um,
Yeah,
but
every
if
company pays it differently.
right, I think some companies does. You have to sit there for 2 hours before you can get it. Now Chris's job, uh, his job starts at an hour.
Yeah, the company that my
And
husband worked for was uh you didn't start earning that detention pay until 2 hours after your appointment time.
yeah,
So it it really depended on, and then there are some places that he delivered to that do not pay detention because it's strictly up to certain company, wherever you deliver, so a lot of times too.
right. Now with Chris's company, it's they get there and they back in to the dock, and if they're there for over an hour, on that 1 hour they're there, they get there at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and longer. They start getting detention pay, and
Yeah.
you know, I kind of laughed when I was doing this with the 4.5 hours to get loaded or unloaded. And I'm like, really? Does they not know that they sit there longer?
Yeah. Mike says I'm
They
off going to
sit
take
there
a nap.
6 hours, 8 hours, and the whole time their time is clicking away.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So,
You always have there's always a cushion. You always have a cushion. And sometimes when you're sitting there, that cushion disappears and your clock just keeps ticking away and ticking away. And sometimes you're stuck there.
right. Mike says he's gonna go. He's going to go take a nap. Well,
Nap,
Mike,
yeah.
take a nap for me too.
Please.
And then the other thing that I saw was it says back in 1978, the average truck driver pay was $34 an hour, and today dollars last year it was $25 an hour, nearly a 30% decline. How can it be a decline?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
You get to, and it should be lower. Um, then
Gary said
Gary
a lot of
says,
companies screw the drivers and keep a lot of the detention. I think some companies do that.
"Yep, possibility." And then it says 2021 was the best year for trucking employment. Um, since 1994, there are now 35,000 more trucking jobs than they were before the pandemic.
Hello, kitty cat. Kitty cat. Kitty cat.
Um,
Goofy butt. Yeah. I Well, according to
Kathy,
him too, that the unemployment rate since he took office, the unemployment rate has gone from 6.4% down to 3.6%.
yeah,
So then why are all these places still looking for people or for job or for
right.
employees?
And then Miss
Uh,
Kathy Hilton goes, I think C.H. Robertson confirmation states detention starts after 4 hours, although these brokers don't work 2 to 4 hours for nothing.
I'm not a big fan of C.H. Robinson broker.
And then Mike goes, I sure, I sure will, ladies. Good day. Good
Good
day,
day, Mike.
Mike.
I'm with Kathy. I'm to the point. My husband had the company that he worked for had to deal every once in a while with C.H. Robinson, and I don't like them. They're kind of a pain, but that's just my opinion. And
Right.
brokers are a pain. They can be a real pain.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how the owner ops, do theirs. I don't, because I can only go by what a company driver does.
Yeah,
As far as what I have been noticing through my husband job and stuff. Now, there's any other truckers out here that you know, come on here and let us know, what your companies do. Um,
Gary just said CH heavy and cheap. Yeah,
right?
my husband had when he was driving the company that he worked for when he was driving. Um, they did give him broker. He was a company driver, mind you, and they did give him brokered loads every once in a while, where he would have to call the broker and get everything all set up and that. And some brokers are okay to work with, and then there's other ones that just are not that great to work with.
Right.
It just depends on the broker,
Right.
and I think
And
it also depends on what kind of mood they're in.
then of course, Biden goes, we provided technical assistance as well as 57 million in federal funds to help states issues the CDLs faster. Really?
Yeah,
and the rate of last year, 120. So wait a minute. So far into 2022, they're issuing CDLs at double the rate of last year, 120,000 in January and February.
Alone, just those 2 months alone.
Really? Yep.
And he also went on to say that the key ingredient to getting and keeping more drivers was increasing training programs, like the registered apprenticeships approved by the Department of Labor, programs that allow aspiring drivers to
Yep.
learn while they earn, earn while they learn their trade. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah, earn while they learn, while making this essential job more attractive for potential drivers, regardless of age, background, and gender. The program has proven to improve safety and better working conditions and better pay and benefits. And then it says typically it takes 8 months to create a registered apprenticeship program. Now it takes 2 days.
that's because they cut a lot of red tape and they've been getting a lot of help supposedly. It said in the
Yep.
last 90 days, 100 major employers have launched new registered apprenticeship programs. UPS, Domino's, Pepsi, Albertsons, and more, along with trade associations like the American Trucking Association, the National Minority Trucking Association, the Food Industry Association, and others.
Yep. And strong foundations for the work ahead, a pipeline of hardworking men and women from all backgrounds.
Yep. Um, there were, including a whole lot of veterans, thanks to the Veterans Trucking Initiative known as Task Force Movement by Patrick Murphy.
Yeah, led by him as well. And then Labor and Transportation Department are working closely with industries to tackle issues, you know, to provide, it says here, to tackle issues for women in trucking, recruit and retrain more women drivers. Yes, we do need more women drivers.
Yep, we do.
And I haven't really seen that many women drivers out here since I've been out here in January. I've seen a very few.
Well, and I almost want to blame it on the pandemic because when the pandemic hit, a lot of shippers and receivers closed their bathrooms to drivers, but yet they didn't put up porta potties. So that's going to affect a lot of women drivers. Sorry, you can't do that.
Right. And then Gary says they do that to make you a slave of their company and work cheap. And then we have a Miss
Patricia.
Patricia saying,
Hello.
hello, guys. Hello, Miss Watson.
TJ just sent a message on Messenger and said she has no internet. That's why she's not on.
I'm sorry, TJ. I hope you can watch us. And if you're watching us, put your comments in here.
Yep. So, and that was a big part of the reason why I didn't go out with my husband too, because there was no access to bathrooms at some places and we could be there for hours, depending on where he was delivering or picking up at. You
Yeah,
know, that you can't that I wanted to say it was almost like discrimination against drivers, period, whether they
exactly.
were male or female.
I'm all about improving the trucking industries out here.
Hmm.
And Biden has went on and said that he was a truck driver. You know, Other people said, oh no, he ain't never been a truck driver. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he was, before he became a congressman or a president. I didn't know who he was until he was what, a vice president. Who was he vice president to? Oh, Obama.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who he was before he became vice president.
Oh, I know.
So, TJ keeps on.
She trying.
Yeah.
But that article that I found, it says roughly 70% of the freight in the U.S. is delivered by trucks. Additionally, 80% of the country is entirely dependent on trucking for daily deliveries of essential goods like food, water, toilet paper, personal protective equipment, and vaccines. It also goes on to say some companies have raised pay 3 times in 1 year, and that's unheard of in the industry.
Look,
Many
we have
bonuses.
Miss Becky Wilburn. Hello, enjoyed watching your program. Well, thank
Hello,
you,
Becky.
Becky. Welcome to the show. It's nice
Gary
having
said,
you
if there's
here.
such a shortage, why can't you find a place to park at night? Because they don't make
Right,
enough parking.
and that was another thing that he made mention that they need to work on getting more parking spaces for the truckers. And and I'm like, yes, they need it. They need more parking out here. They,
Yeah,
you
there was
know,
something he
they
said.
need, they need better pay. They need, uh,
According to what he said, is we're making the largest investment in American roads and bridges since literally the creation of the interstate highway system.
yeah, I think that's where that 57 million came in at.
Yeah. But,
But, you know, I would love for this industry to give more credit out here for the women drivers.
mhm.
Miss Diane,
Biden said
Biden
2 days
said two
ago at the
days
White
ago
House that
at the White House that,
he
that
has
he
his
has his
CDL. I do
CDL.
not believe that.
A lot of people says that, Miss Diane. A lot of people saying that.
And Becky said, I watch Truckers TV and follow Amanda Highland and Rose. And Gary said, I think that's bullcrap. Okay, according to this article, in 2020, and anybody who's driving can leave a comment if they agree with this or not. The the median pay for heavy and tractor trailer drivers was $47,130 a year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Hi, Catherine. Goodbye, Catherine. Where'd she go?
What happened?
I don't know. She was there and then she's not.
Catherine, come back. I put you in, but you left.
And then now Kathy's. I can't bring anybody in the show if y'all are trying to get in. I will let her know, Catherine, that you're in backstage. Yeah, you can join us. Come back as soon as we get.
Sorry. Sorry.
Hi, Catherine said is she backstage anymore?
I think she is. I was trying. She sent a private message.
Yeah, it says, "Hey, Kathy, I'm backstage. Is it okay to join you all?"
And I'm
I
like,
told
I'm
her to.
trying you, girl.
Here I am.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
I'm late to the game, but I'm here.
Hey guys, I'm not Larry. Don't let me start me pushing buttons now.
Oh Lord,
Pushing the
making
wrong
Kathy work
button.
hard. Sorry, I made you work.
I'm like, where did she go?
Well, I
But
forgot you can't. I forgot you can't push the back button. It's you out of StreamYard altogether. So
Oops. I was wondering, all of a sudden you were there and then you weren't. And then
yeah, I
you
was there,
disappeared and
and
then Kathy disappeared. I'm like, oh, great.
I
I'm by
know I
myself
came back
again.
and Kathy's gone. Sorry, guys, for interrupting.
Catherine, welcome to the show.
She's
So what's
the
your
only one that can
intake with
add
all
people
of
to the
this?
show. I can't.
Oh,
So
I don't know.
What is your intake, Catherine, on what Biden was saying?
I mean, there's so many problems facing truck drivers today, and and Ron and I have talked about this long before it was really brought into the limelight. That to really understand what our drivers deal with on a daily basis, like not just as the president of the United States, but I'm talking like your dispatchers, your managers, your transportation managers, your shipping and loading people. To really understand what you guys deal with, you have to be a truck driver. Ron's boss is fantastic. He's a really smart guy, really, really smart guy, multiple degrees, like doctorate degrees. Like this guy's really incredibly smart, has his CDL, no common sense, like none, zero. And it's like, until you actually, you can have a CDL, that's great. But until you actually do what Ron does, don't tell him, don't say, well, this is A plus B equals C, because that doesn't always happen. You can plan the route. You can plan the route as best you can, but until you're in that driver's seat, I don't feel like you get to say, this is how it should be, or this is what we need to do. It just doesn't add up to me. Parking is obviously a huge issue.
it always has been.
It has been. And I live off of 19 off of 81 in Pennsylvania. There's no truck stops from 100 all the way up to, I can't think, for a good little stretch. Trucks park on the exit ramps all the time in Pennsylvania. Nothing's said because once you get past a certain point, there's just nowhere to go. And it's just like Ron's run out of hours on the side of the road in Pennsylvania, and he knows the roads up here. He's been driving them for 8 years now. It's just frustrations.
It is. And, there's not enough truck parking. Like you said, Catherine, you get these dispatchers and then you get these CSRs and you get the planners who think that, oh, well, you can do it. You've got enough, they don't look to see how many hours you have.
Mm-hmm.
What
and
you're
that's another thing. So, that's another thing, right? So, this is one of Ron's big questions that he has asked so many times. And, there's no good answer for it. How come, we can get in our cars and we can drive cross country if we choose to, nonstop? We can do that, right? As a citizen.
Yeah.
So how, and I know that the rules are there for a reason. I know that, the statistics, I believe the statistics show, and if my memory is correct, accidents involving semi-trucks, once they put those hours of service in place, I believe those semi-accidents dropped significantly, if I remember correctly. But that being said, then you can't turn around and bitch about stuff, not, shelves being empty, or a driver shortage. One thing about a driver shortage, what 18-year-old's going to raise their hand and say, yeah, I want to be out on the road for 10 and a half hours a day, every day, and be gone from.
I kind of have a little bit of an issue with, you get an 18-year-old behind the wheel. They don't have enough driving experience. I'm sorry, but this is just my opinion. They don't have enough driving experience since they've only had their license since they were 16.
Diane Hill says, hello, lady truckers, Tennessee here. It's Diane. All three of us are, me, Sheila, and Catherine are truckers' wives. Our husband drives the trucks.
And I honestly, 18-year-old thing, so I have mixed feelings on it. Do I think they're inexperienced? Absolutely. Do I think that's our next generation of truck drivers? Yes, I do. And I say that because Ron was 18 when he learned to drive a truck. He's been driving for 27 years. And he has many times said to me, I think maybe I should have done something different. And he always comes back to, nope, this is what I do. I'm a truck driver. So I kind of like, yeah, do I think they're experienced? Yes. Do I think they're going to save this industry? No, but I think they could definitely give it a boost.
Yeah.
And if it's done right, I think it could be a boost.
I do apologize. My bad. We definitely gonna have to read the comments before we put them up here. I do apologize. Please forgive me. That's on me. Sorry. Go ahead, ladies.
So I was just scanning the comments a little bit. Gary said, if there's such a shortage, why is there no place to park? And that's a really good point. He complains about all of that all the time. He definitely reserves spots consistently if he's able to. Truck stops, I don't think, offer enough parking. There's quite a few TAs I have seen that are gigantic and I mean huge parking places. But when you look at your general pilot or flying J or TA, there's not hundreds of spots. I hear puppies. Hear a puppy. I need to.
You better investigate and find out what's going on.
Yes.
No, there's not enough parking, and not only that, but then they start building new truck stops, but they don't make enough parking for that area. Depending on where the truck stop is too.
Yeah, and I know there are some new truck stops that is building. Of course it's low, but they're not making their parking spaces big for to add more trucks.
No, and
so it's always interesting to see when they build a new one how many truck parking spaces it has compared to car parking spaces, and the car parking spaces always has more than the truck parking spaces.
Right. And then we have a Shannon Hamrick. He's a student at TCAT in Crossville, Tennessee. And his course is 7 weeks to get his CDL.
How long was Chris's?
I want to say Chris was, Catherine, was it, am I correct? Was hers 5 weeks?
I want to say 5 or 6. I'm not sure which, but I'm pretty sure it was either 5 or 6.
Yeah. I think Chris was 5 or 6 weeks long.
So I'm going to throw this out here. I probably should know this, but I don't. How many hours behind the wheel does a 16-year-old need to get their license?
A 15-year-old?
A 16-year-old. Like when you go for your license, you have to have a certain amount of hours behind the wheel, right?
I don't know. It's changed since when I was...
have an adult supervision with them.
Yeah, right? So, and I'm not trying to compare because there is nothing to compare between a citizen driver and a truck driver, if you ask me. I'm just wondering, like, where there's similarities. And I'm sorry, I had to give my dog water. That's why he was yelling at me.
And then Shannon goes, I don't think 7 weeks is long enough.
I agree. I don't think it's long enough.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs to be a little bit longer for a little bit more driving time, a little bit more nighttime driving. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Catherine, did you see that comment?
When you went to driving school, you went to 4 months, didn't you? Oh, you went 5 weeks. Excuse my bad. Chris's father was 4 months. Okay.
He went to truck.
I guess
if it's done,
I just say back in the day it was 4 months.
And
But
I'm not knocking driving schools or CDL schools or anything. I just think it needs to be done in the right way. And I think it's not just, it's definitely not just sitting at a desk and learning the logistics and how to do an inspection, that kind of thing. It's definitely hands-on. And personally, I mean, I learn hands-on better anyway. But if you do it in the right way, I think, yeah, 18-year-olds could get their CDL and boost the industry if it's done in the right way. Common sense to me. I mean, 7 weeks, that ain't going to cut it for me. Like as a citizen, I'm like, you only had your CDL for you went to school for 7 weeks and you got your CDL. That's not that. I might question that. But if they said, well, it was like a 6-month thing or something, yeah, then I'd be like, okay, so they went to school for 6 months. They must be serious about it, I mean, that's my take.
So,
I don't know.
Somebody commented and said here in Illinois they have to drive a year on their permit and then they get their permit at 15.
Oh wow.
So you have to drive a year on that permit. They're basically saying before you can get your license.
Mm-hmm.
And Angie said, she goes, I agree with Shannon Hamrick that 7 weeks is not long enough, which I don't
Definitely
think
not.
it is. It's not, because, okay, you're going to give an 18-year-old, you're going to put an 18-year-old in CDL school. You're going to put them there for 7 weeks to learn how to drive a truck. Then do they go out with a trainer? Some companies don't send new drivers out with trainers.
I'm sorry, Sharon, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but isn't that what Warner is supposed to start doing?
Do what?
Warner, with their exemption and everything. I just heard about that a few days ago.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that one.
Something about exemption. But anyway, let's stay on contract here with
Sheila, are you at your computer?
Yeah, I'm on my computer, but I have my phone.
Oh, I'm curious, like, and maybe this is something we can think about for another show sometime, but I wonder what the ratio of trainers is to school graduates.
That's a good question.
I would love to know that as well.
Yeah.
Something to think about there too, because do we have enough trainers?
Yeah, exactly.
I know Ron has sworn up and down he will never train. I know Ron would never do it.
My husband said he would never train anybody because he can't sleep with somebody else. He wouldn't be able to sleep with somebody else driving.
I'll be honest, Ron's that patient.
He might try to kill somebody.
Well, I was going to say, Ron might kill somebody. No, seriously, we shouldn't joke about that because that happened. Where a co-driver killed his teammate. But seriously, Ron doesn't have the patience. And I think it's because our guys are old school truck drivers.
My husband first time he started driving was in the 90s. And then he went back to it. And then he just got a local job last November, the end of November. He's still driving truck.
Mm-hmm.
He's just hauling trash from a transfer station to a landfill down in Phoenix. So he's home every night and he's home on the weekends. But he's still working like 12 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So he's putting in like 400 and some odd miles a day.
Yeah.
Right.
But he told me, he's like, the only way I would train anybody is, he told me that if I wanted to get my CDL, he would train me. I said, that's because you're married to me. That's why.
I don't know if Ron would me.
And then Andy goes, Larry had trained 3 people so far. Okay, 4, include me. LOL.
Larry boss.
Chris has trained drivers, but he's like, he said, I went to sleep, went back there to the back and went to sleep, when I was supposed to, and because the guy kept on falling asleep behind the steering wheel. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, needless to say, he said, I got up and took over. What Where did Catherine go?
I don't know. She disappeared again. She said, hang on, let me read
And I
the.
hope
She said she's back. Let her back in.
I'm trying.
Hang on, Catherine.
Sorry. I'm
Well,
sorry. I keep pushing back button, not instead of the X.
my
So
dad.
I want to apologize to the audience because instead of hitting the X, I hit the back button and I throw myself out. So it's nothing they're doing. It's me. I'm going to blame chemo.
It's okay. We understand. My dad, when my dad,
Right.
right after we moved to Colorado, my dad started driving truck,
Okay.
and they were hauling it was flatbed full of hay, a load full of hay. He was laying down in the sleeper. The other driver that was with him was driving, turned the corner to get onto the entrance ramp, and dumped the whole load of hay. My dad says that's it. That was the last time he ever trained anybody, except for my mother.
Right. And like I said,
Ron,
he got up and took off and, got up and asked the driver, hey, you're okay? You're okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. So Chris didn't go back to bed. He came over here in the passenger seat and sat down and just was watching. He said, next thing you know, the guy was like, and, he said, all right. He says, oh, pull over. I'm taking over. Go to bed. And after that, the next day, the dispatcher says, you route me to the yard because he's getting off my truck.
I don't blame him.
And
That's just an accident waiting to
so,
happen.
exactly. And so, after that, Chris, I'm done with it. No.
did we lose Kathy? Because I can't hear her.
She's garbly.
Yeah, I don't hear her at all. So I think Kathy may have driven out of service.
Yes, go out and come back. Are you back? Huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
I mean, Ron used to drive teams with his brother. It wasn't. Oh.
She went out. She's going to come back.
Okay, that works. Probably in a lousy place for service, maybe. I don't know. But Ron used to drive teams with his brother, and that was okay. But he just, he's very distrustful.
You're back.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, he's very distrustful of other drivers, and I'm kind of the same way. Just driving like our personal vehicle. I just don't trust other drivers. That being said, he's very experienced. He's had a load of glass shift on him, and it took the trailer. So accidents do happen, but
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be educated enough to know what to do in those instances. Thankfully, Ron did. He was fine. I mean, they lost the load of glass, but it wasn't properly secured, and that wasn't in Ron's contract. So, he was not responsible for securing the load. He was responsible for driving it. So that's the kind of stuff that you need to know. What's in the contract? What are you actually responsible for? How do you, what do you do when the load shifts? How do you respond? Those kind of things. And it's instantaneous, reaction time. So 7 weeks, it's not cutting it for me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you're right. You can't be a trainer while you're in the bunk. I agree with that, but I don't. He was the trainer, but I think the guy said that he was an experienced truck driver and everything. So when it comes to that with the company, they just put them out there with a driver for a week to 2 weeks. And
hello,
so
I have a question.
hello, Dawn.
I have a question. So, okay, I want to know what people think about this. This is a serious question because it happens to Ron, and you have to hit Ron on a good day for him to want to help someone back into a spot, right? Um, he's very much of the mind that you need to learn to back that thing up. And I'm not joking. Like, you need to learn it to back it up. And there's been times where he's helped people. There's been times when he's offered help and they're like, no, man, I got it. And then like 40 minutes later, they're still trying to back in. So I want to know like what everybody's take is on that, especially, and if we can hear from some of our drivers, that's what I want to hear, because that's another issue at truck stops, I think.
You get people
And
that can't
training
back
and all
up.
those things, right? Like everything we've talked about. So how, like, how do people handle those situations? Do you get out and help someone, or I know one time Ron stopped traffic and helped a young lady. I mean, she was young. She was like 24. And then there was another time it was an old guy who said, no, fuck, F you, man. I almost said it. Sorry, guys. But F you, man. I don't want your help. And then never got a spot and I had to leave. So he's seen both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, I was talking with Terry yesterday. She was doing a live stream, and she said there was a gal that was having trouble backing up at a truck stop the one time, and she offered to help her. She said, I will stand here and tell you which direction you need to turn the wheel. And she goes, well, no, why don't you just get in my truck and back it up for me? I don't know how to back up. Why are you behind the wheel?
Exactly. If you can't back up, you don't deserve that CDL. And Ron and I have talked about that. Like, that should be the number one thing you learn. Like, I would never want to drive until I had that down pat. Ron and I have talked about, later on, maybe me, team driving like Chris and Justin. But like, I right now obviously have some work to do on my cancer journey. But Ron has very many times. It's, like, if you can't back up, you don't deserve that CDL. I don't care how many years you've been driving. If you can't back up, you don't deserve CDL.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was a trainer for a year and a half. I kept my trainees for 4 weeks unless I felt they were ready. I always stayed in the passenger seat with them. And then, Teresa, I know you need to learn. My husband watches to see they can, but if they continue to struggle, he gets out and helps, but he won't do it for them. Well, that's what my husband would do too. He would get out and help, but he's not going to back it up for them.
That's Chris, and he'll get out there and he'll help them.
But my husband would get out and go,
then,
do you need help? Do you need me to spot for you? Or whatever.
Spotting is one thing.
but
I know Ron has been told they don't teach backing. Somebody's told him that they weren't taught how to back. And he's like, well, how did you get to your CDL? He's like, on a whim, man. They don't teach us that. We spent one day on backing, and I was like, one day?
Hey?
We're back in the truck, the semi, or the little truck, I mean. Like,
clear a 100-foot area, because they're going to need all that space just to back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris, yesterday, he was doing a good job. I thought he was doing a good job. But another driver, and I want to say he was an old-timey driver and everything else, he came out of nowhere, and I heard a voice said, hey, y'all, I'll help you, and, Chris listened to him, helped him back up and everything else. And then this morning he came over here and started talking to Chris and everything and all. And I was like, wow, I love seeing that. Because I've been at all these truck stops, and I really don't see that many people helping out.
No. Chris commented, she said, Justin has stayed right by my side in and as a professional trainer. We have kept work as work and our relationship completely separate. I am so thankful.
So that's a good point. I think Chris just made, if you're going to do that, if you're going to work together in that small space, you have to separate things and make, if he's going to be a trainer, he needs to be a trainer.
Mhm.
Like, I want to be like, don't be nice to me. Just tell me,
Tell
don't
me
be
what
nice.
I'm doing wrong.
Right.
Ron is a little scary when he's not nice. So, but seriously, in all seriousness, the other thing, that backing issue I just brought up begs the question then, why do they build the truck stops so small? Why don't they buy more land? Why don't they expand? This all goes into that conversation, I think.
And Miss Watson goes, do you know how many people get rushed to get neat? I'm sorry, I'm having problems with the.
I got it, Kathy. You know how many people get rushed just to get through with everything? I think there needs to be a lot of one-on-one or two students, one trainer class is so important. And then Dawn had all the schools that we worked with taught their students how to back up. All the driving schools here in Alabama teach backing.
It's like the first thing you should learn.
Yeah. I have a hard enough time just backing up my personal car sometimes, but yet give me a pickup and a trailer and I still have trouble backing that up.
Well, I know that's the reason why I cannot be a truck driver. That's the reason I'm not going to go to school to be a truck driver. And because being out here with him, seeing him how he turns, backs up, and I know I am not that coordinated. I can't even back up my own pickup truck straight. It goes, it goes off, and I'm like, and then he's laughing at me if he's there watching me. He says, "You're married to a truck driver and you can't even back up straight." I'm like, "No."
I'm a truck driver's daughter. Hello. I still
That's
can't
one
back
thing.
up.
That's one thing Ron has definitely improved my skills at. He has definitely taught me how to back that truck. He has a pickup truck, a Ford F-150, and I'm definitely a pro at it now.
I'm getting better. I really
And
am.
then Chris goes,
Justin was not
"Oh,
sugarcoating anything. He was my trainer, and that's that.
Good.
Gary said there's only one way to learn backing, and that's a lot of practice.
That's
And Ms.
pretty
Watson
much what
says,
Ron
I
said.
see so many tight spots, I cannot even. LOL.
Yeah, Ron sends me pictures. Ron sends me pictures of some of the places that he has to back up into, and
my husband did the same thing. I was just like, And then I've been with him when he's backed into some places, and I just sit there and I do one of these, going, "No, I don't want to look."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's one place Ron has to back down into a building, and it's just not. There's a parking lot, and then the hole in the wall, and then I just don't look. I close my eyes.
Barrier of some sort or
Yeah,
something.
so there's something over here, and I just don't look.
But even a seasoned driver, I'm talking a driver that's been driving for 30 plus years, even they will have problems backing up sometimes. It just depends on their day.
Ron's refused to load now and again.
Pull forward, set it up, back it in one time. I've also watched him pull forward 10 times and back up. And I'd be like, did you just learn how to back up?
Yeah, Ron. One of Ron's.
I've seen him and, start having problems. And, he's like, he'll stop and he's like, okay, today's not my day. Apparently, I can't back up here. And I'll look at him and I'm like, I don't want to hear that. You got this. Take your time and everything. You got this. And the next thing I know, boom, he's backed in. He's got it. And I'm like, see, I told you had it.
When that happens to Ron, there's a lot of swearing and cursing that happens, but he always gets it in.
Chris said, okay, ladies, love you all, but I'm dipping out.
Love you, Chris.
Hi, Chris. I have off days where I have trouble backing up, and I have been driving for over 20 years. Diane says, should they teach how to drive in all types of weather? Yes, they should. And Miss Watson said, bye, Chris. And I'm sorry, but you get these people that drive in the snow, and that scares me. I don't like being out on the road when they're driving in the snow.
I love seeing the snow out here. I did. It's beautiful. But
no, it's not.
On that note,
I will
say living in Florida, where I don't have to deal with the snow and drive in it every day because I cannot do it.
I've
And
So
I don't like driving in the rain back at home when it's storming
that's what
and
I'm
it's
saying.
raining. I
I
want to
have
stay
lived
at
in
home during
Colorado
them days.
where it snows. I have lived in Montana where it snows, and I could care less if I ever drive in snow again. It snows here, and they all go, "Oh, look, it's snowing," and I went, "Yeah, whatever."
Okay, so we're talking about snow, and I'm sure everybody saw, the big, gigantic, tragic accident on I-81 in Pennsylvania last week, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, that
so
was bad.
I had a couple somebody's actually, say to me, "What's the whiteout?" So, do they not teach that in trucking school? Like, what weather conditions are? We get
I
frozen
don't think
fog up
they
here.
do.
Has anyone ever heard of frozen fog? We get frozen
No,
fog, like
I have. I've heard of it.
weird. Yeah. So it was frozen fog, and it was a whiteout. It came on unexpectedly. They had been calling for them the day before. I didn't get any alert on my phone. People said they did. Some said before, some said after that accident. But not one of the videos that I saw was anybody doing anywhere near what they should have been at a reasonable speed. Like, I drive in snow.
right.
I can drive in snow. It doesn't faze me. If I can get out, I'll go. If I can get out of my driveway, if I can get out of my development, I'll go. But on a highway like
Yeah,
that in whiteout conditions, and I've been in those conditions, I drop it back, way back, and I put
Oh
my
yeah.
four ways on. Like, I don't think so my mind was blown a little bit, and I was incredibly angry, and but that anger was directed at not just like everybody involved, because like nobody was like, "Where's your common sense? This is Pennsylvania." It happens on 81. It happens on 80 all the time. I live between those two highways, and they're both like the major throughways, and inevitably, there's pileups like that. That's the most tragic I have seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
right. And
That
then
one was bad.
So
Miss Watson goes, I lived
infuriated
in New
me.
York
I was incredibly mad.
Oh
and
Lord.
I've seen snow, and Mom lives in Minnesota and it snows, yuck. And then Miss Diane goes, yes, I know what frozen fog is.
My husband was to the
Ah,
point where, if the weather was bad, if he didn't feel comfortable driving, we wouldn't go anywhere. We would stay put. And he would let his
and drivers
dispatcher
have
know,
that
look,
right.
and he would look and he would tell his dispatcher, look, the roads are crap. We're not going anywhere. So the load's gonna be late.
Um,
That's all there is to it.
but he just took my shoe. That dog. I just want to go
Uh,
across my room. I think my frustration though, like, just what are the CDL driving schools teaching? How are they teaching it? Why they're not a standard? That's my big question for President Biden. Like we took this topic every which way we could think of, and it comes back to those are my questions for him. Like, you need to standardize.
There we go.
I have heard that the CDL schools do not train drivers on a manual. They train them on an automatic.
Yep.
Here, can you
My
That
guys?
means,
husband, the company that he works for right now, all their trucks, because it's just a day cab, they're all automatics, and he's like, I hate it. He
yep,
would
that
rather
means when they graduate CDL school, on their license will be having automatic written on them. Well, I was told. I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't know. Got to get up with Chris about that. But I was told that um, they put automatic on their license, and that's the only thing that they can drive. They cannot drive a standard or a manual. That
and
they can only drive an automatic, but I don't know if that's actually written on their license or not. I'll get up with Chris and ask her that.
And I also wonder too, a lot of some of these companies don't have automatic transmissions.
It's training.
And so they're
They
manual.
started her off training on a standard, but then when she had to do her test, it was automatic.
Oh, wow. But I've also heard that they're going to be doing away with the manual transmissions and just
That's
going
what I heard.
strictly automatics.
So
But
which I don't know. I drive stick. My car is a stick. It's a 6-speed. But
I can drive a stick.
It took
Gary just said
so when I bought that car, it was
Gary Hodgins said it is on what, the driver's license?
Is it on the driver's license?
Going by the wayside. Or was he talking about the driver's license?
I think it might have been the driver's license. I'm not sure. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary, let us know what you were referring to there.
Yeah, we're confused. Don't take much sometimes.
That was when I was taught how to drive, I was taught on a standard vehicle.
No, buddy.
So
I learned from watching on the driver's license. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
I learned how to drive a stick. I know how to drive a stick. I just prefer an automatic.
My standard was on the column.
Oh, okay. That's what Ron learned. That's what Ron drove.
I had to drive. My standard was up there on the column, but I can drive if it's in the floorboard. But you know,
I have a dumb question.
I drive an automatic.
I have a dumb question because I always do. So, and maybe Gary can answer this for me because I don't know. And maybe it's one of those questions that maybe it's common sense and I shouldn't ask it. But what is the point in putting automatic on the license? Because I'm pretty sure if you put them behind the wheel of a manual, they're not going to be able to drive it.
No.
That's a good
so we're spending money. Wait. So we're spending money putting this on the license because
that's all they know how to drive.
I mean, but we're spending money on stupid shit. Oh, sorry, Angie. Sorry. We're spending money on stupid things.
Drive a standard.
We're spending money on
That's
silly things.
So bad. Chris knows how to drive a standard, so you know.
So,
but Miss Diane said Angie Baum knows about the auto manual. She talked about it before. She probably has, Miss Diane.
Yeah. So if they put an A on there for that's all they can drive is an automatic, and they get hired on by a company that all they have is manuals, they're screwed.
Well, what?
Just saying.
I guess, and maybe this is not my miss. You know, like I don't understand because I'm at home in a lounge chair, and Ron's out on the road, and like the jobs that he's applied for, he's done road tests for. But I know that can't happen with over-the-road drivers. I'm pretty sure it's a different hiring process. But I don't know. I just, why would you? Maybe common sense here. You know, why would you apply to? Wouldn't that be a question though? I don't know.
So Angie just said I was trained on a manual and tested on an automatic, and now I have a restriction, which stinks. And Christine Rollins' safety issue. They may fake it on flat ground, but could kill people on grades.
All good conversation topics.
When you say restrictions, is that what it says on your license? Is restrictions? They don't say anything about automatic only.
Yeah, that's a new one on me. That's the first I've heard of that.
Ron just says CDL, and then he has his,
my husband has CDL, and then he has a motorcycle endorsement on his license.
That's what I was trying to think of, that word. He has the tanker and hazmat endorsements on his, but it doesn't say anything about restrictions or anything like that.
Drive a manual legally. That's what Angie said. That is,
Very
I'm
interesting.
sorry, but that is just so, I'll keep it clean, messed up.
I know. I mean, I've already messed up like twice
That's
today.
okay.
Heartland was strictly manual until they started getting drivers in that says, "Hey, I can only drive an automatic." Then they started buying trucks automatics. But with Heartland, they will they have stated that their drivers that wants to stick with a manual
I know. I'm
transmission,
losing it again.
that's the trucks they will let them stay in. If they want to
So,
stay in they want to stick on manual to automatic, it's their choice. So,
Hold on, Kathy. Hold on. I'm losing you. Now she's froze.
she froze. Angie said, I
am I
hate
still
it.
here?
You're now back. Angie said she hates it because she's restricted. And then
I would hate
Ms.
that
Watson
too.
said, I can drive a standard car, but my hubby took me to a parking lot trying to drive the truck. And it was so confusing to double clutch a truck. I thought it was going to be a breeze. It really fooled me. The truck was bucking all over the place. My husband was laughing at me. I finally got used to it. In a parking lot, it was hard, but I didn't have a CDL learners permit. And Angie said, no good questions, Catherine. They're good
Thanks.
questions.
I'm glad
And
because
they are.
some of the
Because
stuff I don't know.
there's no such thing. If you don't ask, you don't know.
Well,
There
so
is
like
no
I said,
question.
it's easy for me to sit here in my little lounge chair and talk about things that I know nothing about, but what seems like common sense to me. And I'm sure Ron would be if he was here, he'd be in my ear, right? But he's not here, so
Okay. It just depends on. It's like I told you guys, with being around trucking my whole life, I feel like I have diesel fuel running through my veins. So I
And then
know
Don
a lot has
stated,
changed over the years. The company
Don
that I work
stated
for and my old
work for
company always gives
company
road
always
tests to
gives
their
road
new
tests
drivers.
to the drivers.
You're breaking up again. And Angie said, yes, double clutching is like bucking Bronco. Oh, she froze. Oh, we lost her.
I don't know.
Oh, she's back.
Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
All right.
We lose you. You're back.
I know Ron prefers manual. That's his
Angie
choice,
said,
but
Angie said, Kathy, go out and come back in. You're breaking up. Okay, now she went back out. She'll come back in.
But anyway, I know a lot of companies up here. There's a lot of companies that Ron said when he talked to them, they're like, "Do you drive a manual?" And he was like, "Yes." And they specifically asked him that. So
better.
Maybe.
We hope.
Yeah. But yeah, but that was one of the questions that they asked him very pointedly, because that's what people run up here. I don't know, maybe it's a thing in Pennsylvania, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of trucking companies up here that have manuals.
Yeah. I know when the company that my husband, when he quit that company, he'd been with them for 6 years. And when he got hired on, they were only looking for experienced drivers that have like a year or two of driving under their belt. And then they got to the point where they would hire anybody that did not have any training whatsoever. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. This is not good. Yeah. Larry's always says the only stupid question is the one you don't
Thank
ask.
you, Larry.
But that's true. If you don't ask it, then that's a stupid question.
Right. I don't know. I think I'm not sure if anyone had mentioned. I think we talked briefly about manuals going by the wayside. I know when I went car shopping for my car, it was really incredibly difficult to find a standard transmission. And the car salesman actually didn't even know how to drive one. It was really hard. So I imagine semis are also going to be similar. So
I'm sure.
See. I don't doubt that. I just
Holly
And
says, I
then,
drive for the most amazing company. Our company believes in this order faith, family, then work. I have 25 years
Well,
experience.
Holly, I would like.
Gary says, you have better control with the truck with a manual, which you
That's
do.
what I feel like in my car, Gary. Like I just feel like I have more control.
Especially when you're going down a hill.
Or driving in the snow.
Yes.
That's my personal opinion.
But, it just depends.
I know I was trying to get a Camaro one time, and when we lived in Jacksonville, and I think we said we was wanting a manual or automatic and everything. We couldn't. I guess we couldn't ever make up our mind. And salesman brought out a Camaro, and you could switch it from an automatic to a standard. And I was like, "What? What? No, I can't drive that one because you're gonna get me totally confused."
That's interesting. Holly said we can put our truck in manual mode.
And there's cars like that, so why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not trucks?
Yeah, that Camaro was like that.
I
You just hit a button.
I wonder though. So I know Angie said she had a restriction that she can't drive a manual legally, and then Holly said that she can put her truck into manual mode. How does that work? Is it by state by state? Scratch my head a little bit. Or company by company? I don't know. No, because
Well,
it's
I know when
CDL.
Chris went to driving school, it was a manual test. Everything, the whole thing was manual. So he has no restrictions on his license for that.
Well,
So
Ron
he
doesn't
can
either, but
drive
I'm just
automatic
asking, like,
or manual.
how do we keep track of that then if Holly is able to put her truck in a manual transmission
I wonder
mode?
if it is state by state or if
You
it's
know what I'm
company by
asking?
Yeah, I know what you're trying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, maybe it is state by state. I don't know. Freightliner, you can put them in manually. They can switch back and forth.
I think I knew that.
Said.
I'm pretty sure I did know that, actually, now that I think about it. Ron used to drive a freight shaker, so...
But, yeah, I mean, is it strictly, it's just
something to research.
Restricted?
But that is a good question, because if you have restrictions on your license, and where you cannot drive a manual, you have to drive an automatic, then how does that work?
I don't know. Christine Rollins said not state by state. Holly said hers is a Peterbilt.
Diane said I have the option to put my SUV in manual. I never
Gary
have.
made a good.
Afraid I'd mess up the transmission.
Mm-hmm. Gary said, but you don't have a clutch in those. That's a good point. So you can switch from manual to automatic and back, but there's no clutch. I don't know. You push a button.
I've never.
I think you push a button. I don't know.
The manual mode is still auto trans with no clutch.
Yep, that's right. That's what Gary said. So that clarifies it for us.
No clutch or shifter. Dustin says, "Hey guys."
And Dustin L. Brunner, hey guys. Well, hello, Dustin. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dustin.
I just don't know if I could. Terry's in the back. She said I made it.
Yay!
She's in private chat.
Where's she at?
Sorry, I'm trying to bounce back and forth. Holly says it's all push button.
Yep, that's what I thought. There she is. There's
the
lady.
It does not have a clutch.
I'm so sorry.
Switch from auto to manual.
Sorry, everyone. I kept losing signal.
Well, we're glad you're with us now.
Okay, so
Harry, what are you driving, manual or an automatic?
All push button. Christine goes, it just allows you to hold a gear like for downhill. And Dustin says, how are we doing?
All good
We're
on my
having this
end.
discussion about manual transmissions and automatics that can switch back and forth.
I just switched to an automatic for the first time last summer.
And what's your
I
preference?
had a student that didn't know how to drive a manual, so I had to switch.
Oh my God. There, see, and there we go. Right there. They're teaching them how to drive automatics and not manuals.
Yeah.
Did you like it or not?
No, I do not like. Okay, my shoulder and my knee, my right shoulder and my left knee love the automatic, but I don't. I feel like I don't have as much control.
Yeah.
I miss the automatic or the manual. I do.
My husband drives a day cab, and it's not all their trucks are automatics, and he's like, I don't like it. I
No,
would rather
I don't
skip.
either.
So,
And now coming out of school, 7 out of 10 have the exemption. They can't drive a manual. That's really scary. That's sad.
yeah, that's what we were talking about. Is they're putting the restriction on their license. Angie can't. She was trained on a manual, but she's restricted. She can only do an automatic.
Because she tested out on the automatic. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys touched on this already, but they're trying to make it so much easier to get a CDL now because, there's such a driver shortage and it's such a high turnover rate. We have 90% turnover rate in the mega carriers that make it so easy to get a CDL that it's insane.
Holly says a lot of trainers have less than 2 years experience. So sad. Trainers should have a minimum of 5 years experience.
Well, I don't know, Holly, I think it was August, I was asleep in an Ohio Turnpike in the service plaza, and I got hit while asleep. And he had 1 month experience, the driver, wide open parking lot, and he decided to cut through the spots. And his trainer was in the passenger seat. Guess how long his trainer had been driving? 4 months. 4 months, and he was training. I was mortified. You are right on top. I started driving 35 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Years ago, say 5 years, and I still didn't know half of what I needed to know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump off, guys. I'm going to jump off real quick because I have to take a phone call, but it was really lovely chatting with you all. I enjoyed this.
Well, I hope to see you back on my show again, Catherine.
I'm sure I will. All right. Take care, guys. Be safe, TJ.
All right. You be careful.
Bye, honey.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. And Holly says it's crazy, because I'm sorry. Yeah, the trainer should have more than what their trainee does, a lot more.
Right.
Absolutely. But so many of us experienced drivers don't want to train, so they're taking whoever they can get, basically, and trying to turn them into a trainer.
Yeah.
Right. And Terry, I want to ask you this question: if Angie and Don is still on, I would like for y'all to pipe in on the answer as well, because y'all have been out here as well. Terry, have you seen a whole lot of women drivers out here?
Lately or in my entire career?
Go ahead to go, from we started until now.
I've definitely seen an increase. When I started, as far as there were female drivers, but 99% of them drove team with their husband. When I came out here as a solo driver, I was thought of as like a freak. I got called a dyke or whatever, you name it. It just didn't happen. And like when I fueled this morning, I pulled up to fuel and there was a woman on my left and a woman on my right fueling. And I was like, sweet. Women love less than 10% of the driver force. So I love to see, more women, but definitely I don't think we have as many out here as we could. I think we need to market to the empty nesters in their early 40s that, their kids have just gone off to school and they're kind of bored. They've been, working a job at home. Maybe they want something new. I think that's an avenue we should be looking at in our country and in this industry.
Exactly. And Holly posted up here, Warner just got approved by FMCSA to allow trainee to drive while the trainer. This means the trainee is just a permit driver.
Can you repeat that?
Warner just got approved by FMCSA to allow trainees to drive while the trainer. This means the trainee is just a permit driver.
Okay, the FMSCA.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Warner just got approved to let the trainee drive with a permit.
Yep.
Wow.
That just means the trainee just has a permit to drive. Andy said the last 3 years definitely a big increase.
Yeah.
Christine Rollins said, "Isn't that insane?" Holly said, "Women drivers are being more. There are many more than 20 years ago when I started." That was from Christine. And
Absolutely.
then Holly is sleeping.
There's a lot
I've
more
been out here since January, and I've only seen a very few female drivers. And I love the fact that there is a big increase in women's driver. I love that. We need more women out here. Girl power.
Well, and it's funny because when I started, they said we were less than 1%. We were right around 0.5% of solo female drivers, and another half of team female drivers. But now they say we're 10%, and I don't think we are. I just don't see it. I think that number is. I think it's a padded number. I don't think 1/10 of us are out here. No way.
Yeah, just like they said, 70. What was it? Earlier, 70%.
I'm looking.
I can get back to it. Yeah, 70% of all goods in this country, average driver. Yeah, 70%. And
Yep.
all. And
It's
then
more like
the average
90%.
driver waits. The average driver waits 4.5 hours to get loaded or unloaded during their 11-hour shift. And then it says 40% of the day, and often don't get paid for the
Yeah.
wait time.
And we don't.
That is crazy.
And that's why I think we have the high turnover rate. It's getting
Because
frustrating. When you look at how many hours we're out here, guys, and you drivers know this, and Kathy, you watch your husband do this. You average our hours out here, we make less than minimum wage.
Uh-huh.
Our time away from home, away from our family.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm in a rest area or in a restaurant. That's away from my family. This is work.
Yeah. Ms.
And we
Watson
make
said,
less than minimum wage, and I think that's why we have the higher turnover rate.
yeah, she says, "I've been out with my hubby and I've met quite a few women drivers and have seen lots on the road." And then Holly said, "Without the
Awesome, Ms.
trainer in
Watson.
the jump seat, if you have a regular driver's license, you have to have a licensed driver in the front seat in a car."
Yep.
Yeah, if they're permitted, but if a kid has got a permit, it has to be somebody who's 21 that's licensed for them to be able to drive in the same car.
And in my state, it's 18. So it's a little bit, yeah,
Some
but most of them are now
states are 21, some are 18. It just depends on the state.
Yeah.
Holly said it depends on what you haul. Definitely pay is the reason for turnover. Yeah.
I don't think, when you put a permitted kid in a car, it's one thing. He doesn't have an 80,000-pound missile driving down the highway with a permit. I don't think a permit is sufficient enough to be in this truck. And the other thing I don't agree with is, like with my company, if I have a student in the truck, I cannot go in the bunk and go to bed.
Yeah.
Nobody, there is no team. And these mega carriers will put a student in the seat with 0 days on the road, and 10 minutes later, the trainer goes to bed because they have to run a team unit. No. To me, that's asking for big trouble.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. How am I supposed to teach my student if my ass is in the bed asleep?
Yeah.
All right, who's the robotic now?
Mary, I want your opinion on something. How do you feel about 18-year-olds getting a CDL?
I would lie to you. I'm kind of on the fence. I was 18 when I got mine. Back then, we could at 18.
Mm-hmm.
I am lucky I didn't kill anybody because I had 4 days of school and 4 days with a trainer. But now the schools are longer, and
He's being robotic.
huh?
One of us is being robotic, and I don't know if it's me again.
You sound good to me, Kathy.
Does? Okay.
I think there are a few 18-year-olds, but as a general rule, I don't think. Could they handle the driving? Probably. But, when properly trained, I don't think they're mentally ready to handle all the other stuff out here. Their temper, the people that flip them off, dealing with.
Oh, she froze.
Right. And then Miss Holly puts out here, too many trainers use trainee as a second logbook.
Absolutely. Or they make the trainee do everything. And, drive miles too.
And then Gary said they do that so they are cheap to pay the trainers.
Yep.
They're cheap
Right.
to pay the
Those
trainers.
are the things that until the FMSC addresses those issues with the mega carriers, which they never will because the mega carriers are working on this. This industry is going to struggle. We're not going to get back to the pride that we had in this industry until those things are addressed and fixed. It's just that simple. The government and the FMSCA needs to really look at this closer than they are. And like I said, I don't think mentally an 18-year-old can handle all the other stuff that involves this life.
Yeah.
And I have another question for my female drivers, Miss TJ, Angie, Miss Dawn. Do you believe that women don't get paid as much as a man do out here driving a truck?
I've experienced that personally. Yep. I don't think it's like that with mega carriers because I think that they would be caught. And so many of the younger women are more vocal and verbal. And I think that it would come to the forefront. But I know it does happen. Like when I drove for that farmer, he had 5 trucks I drove for 3 years. I made a percentage. I made 29% of what the truck made, and the men with less experience than me made 32%. And not only that, my truck was covered at 85, and theirs was wide open. But yet I had the better record.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. All right. And then Miss Watson goes, 18-year-olds, some might be great, but their brains are not fully developed. Don says you have to have common sense to do this job. 18-year-olds don't have enough common sense.
I
Hot
don't think
Rod
they do.
says, hello, my friends. And then Angie answered with, in my case, I get paid what Larry gets paid, but it may be the case in other companies.
Yeah, I don't think it's widespread, Kathy. And I'll be honest with you, I don't. I think it's very, very few now. It used to be that way all the time, everywhere you went. But now I don't think that's as big of an issue as it used to be. And that's just my opinion. I could be way.
Right.
So
And then Heidi goes, we are blessed to be able to haul loads that pay anywhere $2.32 per mile to $13 per mile.
I
So
don't.
enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, Dawn.
Christine says no. I like this
No, I
industry
like
because of the
this
pay
because of the
equality. Any companies that do need sued. Hot Rod said, "Proud of all you women. Thanks for what you do." And Holly said, "I don't see a difference in pay."
I don't much anymore either, Holly. I think that was back in the past more than it is today.
I think it might have been when women first started getting into driving truck. That's when it was, and now it's like there's women I've seen women outwork a man.
Oh yeah.
You know,
When I
so
started, the company that hired me out of school
Yeah.
also hired some of my male counterparts in school. There was 75 in my class, 74 men and me, and I knew two of the men that went to the same company, and they got offered right off the bat 5 cents more a mile than I did. I got 13 cents a mile, and they got 18 right off the bat. So
Yeah.
that was to me more back then. I totally agree with you. I think it's a lot less of an issue today.
yeah. I think you're right.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, it is 1:31. We have gone 30 minutes over our time.
Sorry I was so late coming in, guys.
Which we
Oh, you're
usually
fine.
do.
I really wanted to be with you guys today.
It happens. It depends on your area whether or not you have
Oh,
signal.
I
And
thought,
I got bad storms, so I think that played a big part in it.
Is Murphy sleeping?
She just jumped
yeah, we're coming in and
back
out. Can
like
y'all hear me?
30
Okay?
seconds ago. You want to come here? Here, I can get her up here. All I got to do is hold up a pickle. That's her pickle. Loves pickles.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Hi, Murphy. What
Okay.
you doing?
I love you too. Yes, I do.
Oh, I lost her again.
There's Miss Murphy.
Hi, Murphy. You stay safe too.
She's kind of, she doesn't
Alright.
like the rain.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Alright.
You
When it
disappeared.
rains like this, she doesn't get to go out and play, so she's kind of more bummed out. She knows she can't go out and just run around in the rain.
Oh,
Right. Right.
But she stays in the bed a lot more on rainy days because she's pissed because I won't let her out and get her all wet.
I don't
Yeah,
blame
it's been raining all day and it looks like it's starting to come back up again.
Where are you guys at?
So we are
Where are you-
going to Hammond, Indiana.
Where are you from?
We're going to Hammond, Indiana. We're almost there.
Oh, okay. I just crossed from Ohio into Indiana on 30.
And so tomorrow I go to Nebraska.
Okay. And now where are you at?
I'm in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
I'm at home.
Uh-huh.
I'm at home.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I should be coming into. How long are you going to be in Hammond, or are you guys rolling, Kathy?
We are. Well, he according to the driver over here, he said we'll be there for 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. So I won't catch you.
Yes.
How long will we be sitting in here? We'll be in Hammond in about.
You know, ladies, if you ever, we can always do this more often just amongst us and just, visit. I get bored of
We'll be at Walmart.
here. I don't have anybody to talk to.
But
I listen to a lot of.
Miss Watson, I'm behind. Who's behind you? She said you are behind me. So
I have no idea.
Is Miss Terry behind you or me, or are we? I don't know.
She said she was in New Mexico.
Do what?
She said she's in New Mexico.
Who is?
Ooh.
Patricia.
It's not New Mexico.
I'm
So,
just coming into Fort Wayne right now, Indiana.
Then Hard Rock goes great state.
Mississippi.
Okay, great state of Mississippi loves your services for all the great women that drives them trucks.
Thank you.
Who's in Arizona? Me.
That's her.
Miss Sheila is in Arizona.
Thank you for helping me get there yesterday, Miss Sheila.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was so nice. What a nice visit.
It was fun.
She kept me occupied yesterday, kept my mind busy, and got me where it needed to be.
I kept on going in and out of service.
Yeah, now I'm pulling into the dirty city of Fort Wayne. I just do not like this city.
And Holly says they are in Florida. Okay, Holly, what part of Florida? Because I am from Florida. So what part of Florida?
If she says Orlando, then that's where James and Lori are.
My husband was born in Orlando.
And then Miss Watson goes, Arizona is behind me.
She's in New Mexico.
And then we're waiting for Miss Holly. So Miss Holly, what part of Florida are you in? Because if you're in Orlando, then that's where James and Lori Underwood's at.
And the babies.
And the babies.
Can't forget the babies.
Lady
the baby, Thor and Lady.
So I got to tell you guys what happened. I talk about open mouth insert foot kind of deal.
I got it, Miss Holly. I totally understand. I got it.
Yep.
Well, welcome to my home state. I'm not there, but welcome to my home state.
There you go.
So my dogs are schnauzers, and I belong to a schnauzer group, and I painted a couple of rocks with schnauzers on it. And the admin asked me to share one of them. I've got 39 rock orders that people that want schnauzers painted on rocks. I'm like, holy.
My
husband
says you do a phenomenal job on those rocks because I was showing him the ones that you've done.
Oh, well, thank you.
He does.
When you stop the truck, it really helps just pass the time. And now at home, I don't really do rocks, but now I'm going to have some schnauzers to do. But at home, I do my canvas, my abstract art. But yeah, when I go home,
they need to send you pictures of their puppies. That way you can get the correct color.
What was that, Kathy?
I said they need to send you pictures of their babies. That way you can get the right color.
Yep, and that's what I told them. I'm not good at portraits. I'm not going to guarantee it looks identical to their dog, but I can get the right color markings anyway.
Yeah.
And then Ms. Watson goes, I never could find rocks.
I buy mine. I really do. I very rarely, if I do just a flower or a smiley, I can pick up rocks. A lot of rest areas have nicer rocks, gloves. But
Miss Holly, you do custom shirts, polos, and hats, and etc. All right, Miss Holly, I might have to get up with you on that part.
Wait, what does Miss Holly do?
She does custom shirts, polos, hats, and etc.
She does custom shirts.
Oh, I might have some business for you, Holly.
You'll have to give us your link.
Yes.
Hey, Holly, I can't read comments, but Sheila, will you read it?
Yep. Holly, I hope you are. Holly, I hope you're a part of the Trucker Safety Divas. If not, please go there and join us.
Yes.
Hey, Holly, can you do one shirt for an order, or is that too much work to do just one? Will you guys let me know what she says?
Yeah.
Because I have 4 or 5 shirts I want made. but I just want like 1 or 2 of each one, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I know that layout and doing the printing is a pain in the butt, for just one.
I do DTG and DTL printing.
What was that?
She does DTG and DTF printing.
I don't know what that
What
is. I'm
is
dumb.
that?
I am dumb. Sorry, Miss Holly.
She said yes. She can do one shirt.
Okay. Miss Holly,
I need 2 shirts.
Facebook? Will you find me, Miss Holly, and send me a message or something? So I'm very tech stupid. I'm the dumb one in this group when it comes to technology. Well, I'm just the dumb one. Just
find her on Facebook. It's TJ
yes,
Brand.
you can find TJ under Trucker Safety Divas as well. She goes by TG Granny Blackman, correct?
Yep, my name is Terry, but I go by TJ.
She said direct to garment. Oh, that's what TGG is. Okay.
What is it, Sheila?
Direct to garment. That's
Oh, okay.
what the DTG
Actually, I need 3 shirts done. Actually, I need 3 shirts.
Can you get larger sizes for me and my husband? Because I'm a fat ass.
You are not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. I will not let you put yourself
We're
down.
we're before 8 o'clock. We can't do that.
I'm a big old girl.
She said, no, you're not dumb.
It's funny. I have no boobs, but because of how wide my shoulders are, I need like a 3X. I'm like a linebacker. I actually played football when I was younger. And I have the upper body for it. But I have no boobs, so.
If nothing else, I will find her page in that too. More details.
Right. Yes, Holly. You can send all of us a private message. You can find me under Trucker Safety Divas. My name is Kathy Cutler, Cutler. My last name is Cathie is my first name, and then Sheila Long, and then we have TJ Granny Blackman.
And Holly just said I can go up to 6X on shirts.
And then Miss Russell says, "Welcome to Texas, haha. We are here, the never-ending state."
Oh God,
correct, Miss Watson. Oh my God, yeah.
That's like a 2-day event going across Texas.
Yes.
Limitless shirts and more Facebook group.
Well, somebody messaged me that. If you're not driving, Sheila, will you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I will.
We definitely need
this rain. And we're getting a blizzard at home tonight, guys. A blizzard. 60-mile plus winds, plus 3 to 5 inches of snow. I'm so glad I'm not home right now.
Right. All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna have to end it. We've gone way over.
Terry, I sent you a message with the name of the group.
Sheila. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Sheila.
She said I will friend request you all.
Awesome, Miss Holly. Awesome.
Hey, Sheila.
Miss Kathy, do we know the topic for next week's chat?
No, not yet.
Not yet, but I was thinking of something about trucker wives, but I'm not sure. Okay. I'm gonna be brainstorming here with Miss Sheila this week.
I would like to, when I can make it, if you ladies are okay with it, I would like to join you. And if there's something regarding a safety issue I would like to bring up. I'm going to be doing a video on it, but I'd also like to talk about it. And it's regarding seatbelts and tying them to your door at night. So
get up with me, TJ, with that. Get up with me and everything else and all, and we can discuss that.
Okay, I appreciate it, Kathy.
So
thank you guys for having me on today.
Make sure everybody likes, follows, and shares the Married number 2 to the road, Married to the Road. They have a TikTok account as well, Married to the Road. Rolling with the Underwoods, Larry and James. Larry and James. Oh my God.
James and Lori Underwood with Lady and Four.
James and Larry have a little bromance going on anyway, so they won't be offended.
Oh my Lord. Sorry, Lori.
No, she is. She's laughing.
James and Lori Underwood, Rolling with the Underwoods. They also have a TikTok account. They have their 2 dogs, Thor and Lady. Married to the Road has their 2 babies, Bandit and Gizmo. We also have Chasing Miles with the Clarks, with Justin and Chris. They also have Rio and Mia. They also have TikToks. Um,
A Color
and
View.
the Cutler's View. We also have a TikTok as well. So, and then TJ Granny has Trucking with Granny, I believe.
Yep. And I have TikTok, Trucker Granny on TikTok.
Okay, and everybody's going like that. We have some new streamers. TJ is one of them. We also have Victoria Bevins Morris. Mona Beto is our pastor. And then y'all just seen her a little bit ago. Miss Catherine Moffat Pennycoff. And then I cannot pronounce her last name, so I know it's Tia Marie. We always call her Tia. There are our new streamers on A Trucker's View. So make sure you like us, follow, and share A Trucker's View as well. And all of the ladies.
Holly says they have Nugget and Frisbee.
Oh, beautiful.
What did Holly say?
They have pets. Their names are Nugget and Frisbee.
Oh, cute.
And
I have Monkey.
Right. And if anybody that wants to become a streamer, please get a hold of Angie, Bomb, Lori Underwood, or Chris Johnson. And they will get you hooked up with streaming on the Trucker's View.
Yep.
And I'm new, so I'm kind of still boring. So bear with us new folks.
We had a nice conversation yesterday. I learned a lot.
Yep. And also, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I love you guys.
Thank you for having me.
And I will see y'all next Wednesday.
Hey.
Beep, beep.
And of course, my husband's over here going beep, beep.
Babe.
So,
Babe.
bye, guys.
Bye.